14 months of arduous work by 74 members of the working group from 21 government agencies and 17 private sector entities, we have reached our goal. The document here, based on extensive data accumulation and analysis, identifies the vulnerable and high-risk sectors of our economy as it relates to money laundering and terrorist financing. There's also a detailed action plan to address or mitigate the identified risks. Some of us here only just returned from Trinidad, where Guyana, represented by 9 delegates from several key agencies, including the FIU, attended the 45th CFL ATF plenary. There it was again emphasized that the completion of a national risk assessment and a risk-based action plan is critical to the successful completion of the 4th round mutual evaluation. While our mutual evaluation is scheduled for 2022, this is an excellent start, I believe, of what we expect to be a long road to nothing but success. I would like to emphasize 3 little things before presenting this document to you. We must not allow this document to get lost. This is a living document that requires a lot of work. There is much that needs to be done for our AML-CFT regime to get where it needs to be to have a successful mutual evaluation in 2022. We need all hands, all agencies and entities on board to implement the recommendations within this action plan. A great deal of work is required relating to updating legislation. Stakeholders also need to effectively execute their role. This includes the reporting entities, the supervisors, and the other regulators. Additionally, recommendation 2 of the FATF-40 recommendations requires that the national risk assessment process be reviewed regularly. The best practice is 3 to 4 years, and that an authority or a body must be identified to coordinate the country's AML-CFT policies. This ensures that there's a documented national strategy that emphasizes cooperation and coordination of efforts between the policymakers, the FIU, the law enforcement agencies, and the other competent authorities to combat money laundering, terrorist financing, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Getting this right, finally, will not come cheap, but it is an investment that we cannot afford not to make. The alternative will be much costlier to our nation and to our citizens. I and the FIU would like to express that we look forward to supporting whatever strategy is put forward by the government in implementing this plan. And so, in conformance with recommendation 1 of the FATF-40 recommendations relating to money laundering and terrorist financing, I'm extremely happy this morning to be able to present to you the country's first money laundering and terrorist financing national risk assessment and risk-based action plan.
On behalf of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, I'm pleased to receive from the Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit our first money laundering and terrorist financing national risk assessment report and risk-based action plan. These documents are the results of the hard work and dedication of a 74-member working group drawn from key government and private sector agencies. I wish to thank them and the FIU for their sterling effort. I must also recognize the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank, which provided technical assistance, guidance, and support throughout the process. This report is an important achievement for the country, as it marks the beginning of the country's preparation for the CFATF's 4th round of mutual evaluations. It is also symbolic of the government's commitment to combat money laundering and terrorist financing in accordance with the Financial Action Task Force's standards. Having conducted the NRA exercise, Guyana can now more easily identify, assess, and understand its ML-TF risks and prioritize actions according to the levels of risk. Guyana is scheduled to be evaluated under the 4th round in 2022, and the completion of a national risk assessment report, which supported by a risk-based action plan, is only one of FATF's 40 recommendations, which country will be assessed on during the 4th round mutual evaluation process. The road ahead is long. Notwithstanding, it is my government's intention to establish a team to review the NRA report and action plan, and to develop and manage a national strategy to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. This is in keeping with FATF's recommendation 2, which requires countries to have national AML CFT policies that are informed by the risks identified. I also want to assure our citizens that the government will continue its efforts to ensure Guyana's AML CFT strategy is strengthened so that our financial system and sector are protected from the long arm of money launderers. We have come to realize the impact of MLTF risks on the economic growth of the country, as well as our role in the global fight against MLTF. The threat of terrorist financing, too, is becoming an ever-increasing real and present danger for countries in the Caribbean. The experience of our sister CARICOM country, Trinidad and Tobago, should cause all of us to redouble our efforts to protect our country from the grasp, reach, and clutches of terrorists and their deadly activities. Education and awareness must be priorities for our country, and stakeholders must be encouraged to do all they can to participate in the implementation of the country's AML-CTF regime. With these few remarks, I accept this report with gratitude.